Hi, everybody. We're going to look at some Seder tunes today. I called it Seder 101 because it's some really basic tunes that you've probably heard at the Seder your whole life, but maybe haven't quite known how to do or how to lead. So we'll look at touch on some of those. Maybe one that's a little more complicated where you've always known part 1 and didn't know parts 2 and 3. So we'll look at that too. So to start, I am going to get to another screen. All right, here we go. So can you see this screen? This is, I picked, there are many, many brachot that we do in the course of the Seder. This one is, I just picked a page. And one way you can do them, you can always just say them. But another way you can do any of the brachot throughout, any of the blessings throughout the entire Seder is a traditional way that we'll use for Kiddush, and a way that it's a nusach, it's a tune that we use for festivals like Pesach. And if you look at the Karpas blessing here, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri ha'adama. And they can say Amen. So it's the same thing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Fill in the blank. It's just a nice way to bring, it's that festival sound. You'll hear it a lot in shul if you're in shul over Sukkot, over Shemini Atzeret, over Pesach, over any of these holidays. It's a nice way to bring in a tune rather than just saying the words, and it's pretty simple. So that is one thing I wanted to share. The next thing I want to look at, let's skip ahead. Okay, we're at Avadim Hayinu. And Alex Weinberg in the preschool, in the Early Childhood Education Center, has done a nice thing because he's taken the text of this tune as in the Haggadah, the text of this part of the Maggid, the storytelling, and mixed it with the song that I think probably a lot of people grew up singing. So if you can see in the kind of the tiny print in the middle, it says optional song. I think you'll probably recognize this tune. You might not. No problem if you don't. But one way we've always done it is with just those words there, but Alex has filled in more of the words from the actual text. So if you can follow along line 1 of the larger text, and then we'll go down to line 2 of the shorter, of the optional song. All right. Avadim hayinu, lefaro b'mitzrayim, down here. Avadim hayinu, ata b'nei chorin. Avadim hayinu, ata b'nei chorin. So you start with line 1 and you end up with the rest of the optional song, getting a little more text. So we're saying not just that we were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt, and then we go into, and then we were freed. We became a free people. All right, that is tune number 2. Let's go. We're going to skip way ahead. All right, this is one at the end of the Seder. You may or may not do this one. It's nice because it's really easy Hebrew. Which is good for guests. And it's also a tune you'll hear throughout, if you come to synagogue throughout the holiday of Pesach, I will incorporate it into things like Hallel, and you'll hear this tune a lot. It's a very signature melody for the Seder, or for Pesach in general. Adirhu, yivne beito bekarov, bimhera, biyamenu bekarov, el bnei beitcha bekarov. That's the basic, and then you just add a little bit more. Bachur hu, gadol hu, dagul hu, yivne beito bekarov, bimhera, biyamenu bekarov, el bnei beitcha bekarov. etc. And it's really all the same. Podehu, tzadiku, kadoshu, yivne beito bekarov, etc. So it's pretty easy Hebrew to follow along if you're able to read Hebrew, but it's also pretty easy in the transliteration. It's not terribly long words, so I think it should be a good one for people to sing along, and it goes on and on. It's, you know, near the end of the Seder when you're kind of having fun with the longer tunes. This is a very simple one. All right. Then, all right, let's get into this is a challenging one. So this is one I know at many Seders I've been to, we all start it with gusto and we do not know how to continue it, which is okay. It's not so easy. It has a real Middle Eastern sound to it. It's a great tune. It sort of sounds like a tune that's been around forever and was written by Moses, but it is not. I actually found the music to it. It's written by someone in Pugachev. First name begins with an E, just an initial. We'll call him Eugene Pugachev. Mr. Pugachev, Cantor Pugachev, we don't know who, but wrote this definitely, excuse me, with a Middle Eastern flair. All right, this one's a little trickier it's in Aramaic, a little trickier to catch on to. Halachma, halachma anya, diachalu, diachalu ahavatana, be'ara, be'ara, demitzrayim. Be'ara, be'ara, demitzrayim, kol divchin yete ve'yechol, kol ditzrich yete ve'yifsach, hashatacha, l'shana haba, be'ara de Yisrael. Hashata avde l'shana haba, hashata avde l'shana haba, v'nechori. So it's kind of a crazy ending, and I've never heard it that way. This is from the original. It's interesting because if you know anything about music, not to get, you know, too deep into it, but it has that Middle Eastern sound, you know, with this Mizrahi Eastern sound. And then at the end, it goes to major. You don't have to know what that means, but no, it's just a very Western sound. It's a very kind of traditionally we'd call it happy sound. I don't like to put emotional attachments on music modes because they don't always follow. But in this case, it really ends with this major, and we are free, which I've never heard before, and I think it makes it kind of a more interesting tune now that I know how it was intended. So I think that's an interesting one. It's a challenging one. If you want to learn that one, come back and keep listening, and maybe I'll even re-record it at the end. Finally, this one you have all sung a million times, I do not doubt. All right, the very, 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 very end. A way that we sing it in shul. We actually sing this L'shana haba Yerushalayim next year in Jerusalem. You've sung it a million times. The way we sing it, for instance, at the end of Ne'ilah, at the end of Yom Kippur, we do a Karlbach tune. Instead of the more traditional one you might know, just know that there's an extra word, Habnuya, that rebuilt Jerusalem. L'shana haba, l'shana haba, l'shana haba b'Yerushalayim. L'shana haba, l'shana haba, l'shana haba b'Yerushalayim. L'shana haba b'Yerushalayim habnuya. L'shana haba b'Yerushalayim habnuya. You can end with yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 dai. Die, 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 die. So those are the tunes I wanted to share with you today, and maybe we'll come back for another session another time. Thank you so much for watching.